America new overnight, applying the pressure. The U.S. taking to the skies with allies following North Korea's intercontinental ballistic missile launch. President Trump expressing his disappointment with China, as well as with Republicans struggling with health care reform, what he wants them to do next.
Terror plot, the plan targeting the skies.
There has been a major joint counter-terrorism operation to disrupt a terrorist plot to bring down an airplane.
4 men arrested in Australia believed to be inspired by radical Islam. Airports are now beefing up security.
Vacation ruined. 50,000 tourists ordered to leave the Outer Banks after a major power outage. Fun in the sun cut short.
We didn't get to do everything that we wanted to do.
Who's getting blamed this morning?
Border outrage. Members of Congress are speaking out, expressing strong reaction to an ABC News investigation and exclusively obtained video showing the encounter between a Mexican teen and 2 border officers.
Now watch the male agent. He says, drink another one.
That encounter turned deadly.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good Sunday morning, everyone. Dan is still off. Somehow we convinced our chief White House correspondent, John Carl, to come back. I don't know how we
Thanks for having me back.
Well, it was really, it was Marciano's
Where's
idea.
Harris?
He's on vacation, as he should be, getting a little R&R. And as we come on the air this morning, we've just confirmed reports that the U.S. Defense Agency just conducted a test of its THAAD anti-missile defense system. That's a system that's designed to intercept any incoming missiles that could potentially pose a threat.
The test in Alaska had been previously planned, but it comes 2 days after the latest rocket launch by North Korea and has new implications for the U.S. The North Korea rocket's trajectory sent it 2,300 miles into space before coming down into the Sea of Japan.
But this morning, there is growing concern that the angle of that trajectory can extend that range by a whole lot. And Kim Jong-un says North Korea now can reach the entire United States.
All this as President Trump is now lashing out on China on Twitter for not solving the North Korea problem. And of course, he is still wrestling with health care reform. ABC's David Wright is at the White House with more. Good morning, David.
Good morning, John and Paula. The White House is treating this latest North Korean missile test as a significant provocation, escalating the U.S. response. And it comes just as the White House struggles to regroup after that big staff shakeup. The president clearly frustrated that his agenda appears to be stalled. U.S. warplanes fueled and ready. This bilateral mission on the Korean peninsula, a direct response to the North's provocation. Friday's launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile was especially worrying. ICBMs might be able to reach the continental U.S., so the U.S. is testing countermeasures. Overnight, the president also fired back with tweets. "I'm very disappointed in China," he wrote in one tweet. Then in another, "They do nothing for us with North Korea, just talk. We will no longer allow this to continue." Earlier in the day, another tweet storm on health care reform, this one directed at members of his own party, calling them total quitters if they don't hold a revote, taunting them, saying they look like fools and are just wasting time.
Boy, oh boy. They've been working on that one for 7 years. Can you believe that? The swamp.
The president blames Senate rules that require a 60-vote majority to end debate and pass major pieces of legislation. Republican Senate must get rid of 60-vote now, he tweeted. It is killing the Republican Party, allows 8 Democrats to control the country. But that's not what killed health care reform. It took just 51 votes to scuttle that bill. Republican John McCain's dramatic thumbs down. One big question now, as General John Kelly takes over as the new chief of staff, who will take over at Homeland Security? Some senior White House aides want Attorney General Jeff Sessions to move into that role, but that may be a non-starter with Senate Republicans. Senator Lindsey Graham pointedly tweeted, "Attorney General Jeff Sessions has a good ring to it, highly qualified, committed to the rule of law, tough on crime, and fiercely independent." Any effort to move Jeff Sessions out of the Department of Justice would likely be seen as a precursor to trying to fire the special counsel Bob Mueller, who's looking into Russia. And that would cause a political firestorm here in Washington. John and Paula?
Sure would. That story to be continued. All right, David Wright, thanks for reporting from the White House. We want to bring in ABC News Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz, who is in Washington, busy this morning. She's going to be hosting This Week later this morning. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Paula and John.
Isn't that nice to see him here? We're not sending him back to D.C., by the way. He's stuck here in New York.
Oh, yes, you are.
We are fighting over you. All right, let's begin with the issue of North Korea, Martha. They tested another intercontinental ballistic missile, which Kim Jong-un claims can reach the entire U.S. But now the president is tweeting China isn't doing enough about it. What do you make of this Twitter diplomacy? Is he threatening a trade war with China?
Well, it sounds like he's threatening a trade war, but I think what the president is incredibly frustrated. They keep up the rhetoric that was very similar to our past presidents when it comes to North Korea, but North Korea has made enormous gains. What's happened is incredibly alarming. This is the second ICBM test. The Washington Post recently reported about a confidential report by the Defense Intelligence Agency that said North Korea could have a nuclear-armed ICBM by next year.
Wow.
But what could China do that they're not doing now? What does the president want China to do?
Well, what the president really wants China to do is cut off North Korea economically in other ways that will really put pressure on North Korea. They haven't done that. The president is right. They continue to say they will help, but there has been no real hard evidence they have. A bigger question is, what does Donald Trump do next? What does he do about these missile tests? What does he do about North Korea trying to get a nuclear weapon that could go on top of that? You remember from the campaign, John, he said, we will not let that happen. How they could do that is just unclear.
And final question for you. We want to talk about John Kelly. His first day on the job is tomorrow as Chief of Staff. Do you think that this four-star General, Martha, is going to be able to really instill law and order in the West Wing?
Well, I suppose if anybody can instill some sort of order, Paula, it is a retired Marine Corps general, but this is a challenge like he has never faced before. He goes into a White House with lots of different factions, lots of different people and personalities to deal with. Just look what happened last week with the rant by Anthony Scaramucci. How do you deal with that? But John Kelly is a very steady guy. He will go forward with whatever he can to try to maintain order in the White House. And as we know, Donald Trump likes him very much. They have a very good personal relationship.
Certainly do. All right, Martha, we're going to let you go. We know you have a big show to prepare for, including a cameo from this guy coming up.
That guy. We want
shortly,
that guy.
Martha.
I'll be asking him questions in a little while.
I know. All right, Martha, great job. Great to have you as usual. But coming up, Martha's got that show this week after the GOP's failure to repeal Obamacare. She's going to go one-on-one with Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price and former Hillary Clinton campaign chair John Podesta, plus Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister responding to the tough new sanctions against Russia passed by Congress. It's all coming up on This Week right here on ABC, Martha, and you have a lot to unpack as usual on Sunday morning. But we do have breaking terror news out of Australia where police have thwarted a plot.
Officials are saying the plan was to bring down an airplane. ABC's Gloria Riviera is in Washington with the latest. Good morning, Gloria.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Paula. Certainly, airline security operators around the world are taking note of this most recent concerning event in Australia. In fact, it's the second time Australian authorities have been on alert. Earlier this summer in Melbourne, one man was killed and 3 officers wounded in an attack ISIS took responsibility for. This most recent scare could have been much worse.
There has been a major joint counter-terrorism operation to disrupt a terrorist plot to bring down an airplane.
An Australian terrorist attack thwarted overnight, raising concerns worldwide about airline security.
We do believe it is Islamic-inspired terrorism.
4 suburbs across capital city Sydney raided Saturday evening by heavily armed police. 4 men are now under arrest. Australian police officials believe the foiled plot involved an improvised device.
The first thing that the Australian security forces are concerned about is, did we get everybody? Is it just these 4, or were there other individuals who were involved? Did they find information about the scope and scale of this network? Were they part of a broader plot or a group like Al-Qaeda or ISIS?
This morning at Sydney's airport, authorities beefing up security with added law enforcement.
Travellers should be prepared for additional scrutiny.
Concerns about bombs on airplanes growing. A laptop bomb blamed for an explosion on a Somali flight in 2016. The TSA announcing just this week new screening procedures for carry-on electronics larger than a cell phone across 10 airports in the U.S. This following an electronics ban earlier this year on some international flights coming into the U.S. The investigation in Australia far from over.
They're also going to be working with countries like the United States, and you can bet that tonight intelligence officials through tomorrow and through the following couple days are going to be looking through databases and sharing information.
To identify terrorists and other national security threats before they board airplanes bound for the U.S., the Department of Homeland Security is working on expanding its pre-clearance program. That's when they interview passengers at international airports before they board. It's in place at least 15 airports around the world, but they'd like to see it at many more. John, Paula.
Thank you, Gloria. And for the second time this summer, an American tourist has been shot in Turks and Caicos.
This time, a masked gunman opened fire inside a home during a burglary. Our Eva Pilgrim is on the story for us this morning. Good morning to you, Eva.
Good morning. A dream vacation quickly turning into a nightmare. Another American tourist targeted while vacationing in the Turks and Caicos, this time attacked inside their luxury vacation home.
An American tourist in the hospital this morning, shot by a masked gunman while vacationing in Turks and Caicos.
They arrived very quickly and found that the security guard had been lightly bound at the scene with his own shoelaces.
The man staying here in the Conch Villa, a luxury vacation home featuring breathtaking views of the ocean and an alarm system. Police say Friday night around 10 p.m., two people forced their way into the home from the back of the property.
What we don't know is why a shot was discharged, what led up to that shot being discharged, but we do know that immediately following the discharge of that firearm, both the suspects fled the scene.
A 57-year-old from Washington, D.C. was taken to the hospital, where he was later transferred to Fort Lauderdale. This morning, he is in stable condition. Investigators using security videos in the home, hoping it will identify the suspects. Authorities say the burglars took a laptop, but nothing else.
We have a serious crime investigation team on this particular and the previous robbery.
This is the second shooting of an American tourist in just weeks. An Alabama man also shot during a robbery while vacationing with his family.
The State Department hasn't put out an advisory for American tourists, but has reminded people to take precautions and be aware of their surroundings, saying crime is low, but increasing, but still worrisome. This family had a security guard. So sort of changes.
And there was
the
also an alarm system in the house, too. I don't know whether or not it was activated, but that's scary. You go on vacation and you don't want that to happen. Eva, great to have you on a Sunday morning. And everyone, as you can tell, Ron's not here today. That's because Marciano's also sitting in his chair.
I have a seat.
Yeah, but John and I are going to take over news duty and bring you some of the other stories that are happening around the globe.
All right, well, we begin with the FBI joining a hunt for whoever put a bomb disguised as a package on a New York City porch and then waited for days for it to explode. Cell phone video shows the building's landlord knocked to the ground just after opening the package. This moments after he was consumed by flames. The 73-year-old is now in critical condition with burns over most of his body. The family says the package may have been on their doorstep for as long as a week.
Frightening. And overseas in Spain, more than 20,000 people were forced to evacuate a popular outdoor music festival in Barcelona on Saturday night when a fire broke out on stage. Look at that fire. The organizers say it was caused by a technical malfunction. No injuries, however, were reported. Thankfully, no injuries.
Back here in the U.S., an update on the deadly accident at the Ohio State Fair. The coroner's preliminary finding is that the 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell died of blunt force trauma after he was hurled from that fireball ride to his death. Overnight, the owner of that ride says mechanical failure was likely the cause of the deadly accident. All rides at the fair, except the fireball, are expected to open again by this afternoon. Also in Ohio, police are looking for the thief who stole a rare gold replica of the lunar space module from the Armstrong Air and Space Museum. It went missing on Friday. The missing replica was made by Cartier and given to Neil Armstrong after his 1969 mission to the moon.
All right, and finally, this is John Carl's favorite story of the day. It might be yours as well. Love this story. A Colorado police officer responds to a very important call about possible intruders in a home.
What kind of intruders?
Oh, you're going to find out. Longmont police officer David Bonday, he arrived at the scene to help a 4-year-old girl afraid that there were monsters in her house. The two looked everywhere. You saw them looking under the bed. They looked high and low. We are happy to report this morning that the home is monster-free.
So the key is that they used flashlights, police flashlights.
Yes.
They looked under the couch,
You gotta look under the
tables,
beds.
under the beds. They did it during the day, though. I'm a little concerned.
Because monsters usually come out at night. My little guy, he's 3 going through this. They can't distinguish between reality and their imagination. We give him back.
Point that at me.
You're good guy spray for you. All right, we do want to move now to a massive power outage in the Outer Banks, forcing 50,000 vacationers off the islands at the peak of tourist season.
Police are enforcing a mandatory evacuation with penalties if it's not obeyed. All of this as the electric company warns that it might take weeks to repair the damage. ABC's Ariel Reshef is here with new information on what caused the blackout. Ariel, good morning.
Good morning, John and Paula. A local construction company saying it accidentally punctured a key electric line. That man-made blackout for tens of thousands of tourists into a bust.
This morning, a popular North Carolina vacation spot is still in the dark, sending more and more visitors packing their bags.
We didn't get to do everything that we wanted to do. We thought we would have more time.
A power outage forcing at least 50,000 people away from the Outer Banks after authorities enforced mandatory evacuations on Saturday morning.
It was upsetting. We had all of our food that we bought, everything was packed. The car was ready to go.
The nightmare beginning Thursday on Hatteras and Ocracoke Islands. Construction crews working on a new bridge drove a steel casing into this underground transmission line, taking out a 2-foot chunk. The governor declaring a state of emergency. Local officials urging those visitors still on the island to vacate as soon as possible, saying those who do not comply with the order to will be issued citations.
It has been very hot and our food spoiled and very uncomfortable.
With homes and businesses running on backup generators until repairs are finished, the usually bustling tourist destination now becoming a ghost town.
This is summertime, right in the peak of summertime, and it definitely affects.
You got to feel for those businesses, and the governor of North Carolina is pressing for faster action to restore the power. He says if the construction company is indeed found to have caused this outage, it would likely be responsible for the cost of those repairs. No word yet, though, on when the electric line will be repaired. So a lot of tourists out of their vacations and a lot of residents really frustrated.
Yeah, great timing. All right, now for weather with our man Rob.
It's nice on the Outer Banks right now.
Yeah, if you have a place to stay, you're allowed to be there.
But we had a rough couple of hours, actually a couple of days really, before the nice weather moved in. This in West Virginia yesterday, a heavy rain, 5-6 inches of it led to some flash flooding there. 8 counties were in a state of emergency, and you can see how quickly the water rose. Even New Jersey saw about 5 inches to 6 inches in spots. So heavy rain with a very unseasonably fall-like system yesterday, but now an unseasonably fall-like air mass is dropping down with not only just cool air, but dry air all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. That is something to enjoy, at least for a day. Temperatures will be seasonally cool, 80s, and then a little bit warmer as we go through tomorrow for much of the Northeast. But generally speaking, the humidity levels will remain comfortable, even though temperatures will creep up to near 90 degrees in Philadelphia. And rain across Florida, the Sunshine State. That's a quick check on the weather nationally. Here now is your local forecast.
Temperatures this morning in the upper 50s to low 60s, so starting out a little bit on the cool side, but our future is looking very bright compared to yesterday. If you're heading out to Nationals Park, that first pitch at 1:35 and also 7:05. But coming up this afternoon, mostly sunny skies, those temperatures in the low 80s. As we kick off the work week, it's also looking sunny and bright, comfortably warm with those temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. So hopefully you can get out today and enjoy the beautiful weather.
And because John Carl asked for it and he's going right to the Jersey Shore after this, we're going to go over the beach forecast in the next half hour.
With beach balls.
All right. All right. We now move to the story of this is a great story, a very dedicated doctor who was in labor with her own baby but went down the hall at the hospital to help another woman deliver first.
Yeah, and then moments later, she gave birth herself. I'm exhausted just thinking about this story. Adrienne, can you tell us what happened?
Oh, baby, that's all we can see. The pregnancy play-by-play intense. A pregnant woman in labor who happens to be a doctor in her hospital gown, ready to be induced when she comes to the aid of another woman, fully dilated. The timing of both births